Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I'm your host Mary Ellen. This is an episode of Craft with Me where we are getting down to the nitty gritty of the elephant journal. Let me show you. We have a journal. Journal with a little thread. Get that sorted. There we are. So, I love that edge. It is so yummy. So we've got this all sewn in. What I did was I set it up like this, and I sewed down the edge here, and then also down the edge here. And then I sewed all the way around. It does not bother me in the least that I have that as the outline. It matches perfectly on the outside. Same with there, it just blends right in. We've got some beautiful ties, which we'll tie in a bow-like configuration without a problem. And the bits and pieces hanging off do not also bother me, because there is something just yummy and scrummy about that. So we might get to putting some things in spots. Let's see what we can do. Where do I want to put this? Let's put it right back where it was. There we are. Sorry, didn't mean to make that noise. Sleeves pulled up, so we're meaning business. We've got something of a glue spot, like that. And let's see what we've got. I think we've got a lot. Well, item number one. I feel like she should go there. That should not be the thing that holds it. I just need, what I would like is a basic pocket. Did I make any of those? I think I did. I must have. There's nothing that I can put my hands on quick. Oh, here are the pockets. Found them. Found them. That side, no. How about you? How's that you? Start the whole journal off with a bang. That goes in like that. That'll work. Might want to just fold that over like that. And then, oh, this was one of those. I feel like I should do something about that. Or the other thing I can do is just cut it, which might make a little bit more sense. Let's do that. There, wow. A lot happening there. That's okay. We can sort of do that. We can sort of do that. There we are. Good job. So under the banner of I know that I'm getting close to being done, I am starting to think about what I want to do next. And that whole Barbie box is on my mind as something that I could do. I don't know if that's what I want to do or not, though. we are. And I could keep that open, or I could flap it over at some point. There we are. Okay. And let's go to this page. See if there's anything fun that we could put in there. Goodness, people are doing something outside. Hang on, I'm gonna put you on hold. All is well. What is happening is what is happening. Trees being cut. Too big for that pocket. Buttons. Sort of a little too big. Yeah, no, it doesn't fit. How about you? No. What do we have? Something like that. Would that fit if I trimmed it? It would. Okay. So let's finish the decoration of that. Put that down there. And what do I want to do? I want to trim. It was probably at some point I wanted to keep that top, but that was before I had to fit it into a pocket of the particular size that I want to use. Is what it is. I'm also taking, I think I've picked it back up maybe, or it's a new one. I'm not sure. I can't tell. Another art course. This is on some kind of modernism. Modern art maybe? And they are talking a lot about subversion. Subversion of expectations. And I wonder what that would look like in the junk journal world. Okay, there we are. There's that. And now I kind of want to put something on there that might be no. Nope. I said no. No. Do I have any elephant pictures? Well, the short answer to that is yes, of course I do. Well, maybe we'll just use the pocket. Oops, what just fell? Do that. And then we're gonna let that happen there. Okay, it's gonna be good enough. Good enough for now. We reserve the right to zhuzh it off momentarily. Wow, you cannot even see that. Okay, oh, that's what fell. This is an edge. Where would an edge want to be? If I were an edge, where would I want to be? I have a lot of writing space in this one. Ooh. That is way too big. That's okay. I can make that a little smaller. And then what would I put in it? That fit. Oops. Those two ends came up. And so did that one. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We want to make that a little bit narrower by a bunch. Three-quarters of an inch? Sure. Oops. That. I am having a final conversation in my head, and I realize that it's like I am not speaking out loud. There we are. So, what is my conversation? What is it like? Well, one thing is, I am very pleased that I'm able to report that I have got my garden planted. So that's exciting. It's not complicated food, but it is food nonetheless. It is slightly more than I had last year. And I didn't plant the stuff that didn't grow last year, and I planted new stuff. So I planted tomatoes, which always seem to grow particularly well. I need to do the bottom of that. What else have I planted? Kale, because nothing eats kale. And I find it is a useful green that nothing eats. If I planted lettuce, every rabbit in 7 counties would be all over my garden. As it is, I have at least 4 that regularly visit, and I don't need to feed them. They don't like kale. At least they don't need it. I planted garlic, cucumber, onions, and then a pile of flowers. Yep, okay, that'll work. And we're gonna pop over to this side and see. So I'm gonna do it on that side. Yeah, I do have a lot of blank pages. Well, look at me. Well, that's a big whole long stream of no color and then suddenly color and then a little bit more. Where? No, I can't do that. Well, let's put it here and also make this a little shorter. There's that, and then 3/4, a little bit more. There we are. Here. I've purchased another climbing rose and another rose bush because roses are fabulous for all the printing and dyeing. Plus they smell gorgeous, plus they are so fun for making into bouquets for other people. Yep, that'll work. It will work. There. Oh, I just want a little bit of that green edge. There we are. And what do we want to put in there? How about you? That might have been a pocket at some point. We are going to trim. This one and the other one are missing something, and I don't know what it is that I can put on them. Like, is it a label that I need, or a stamp, or what? I need to go get that other card that I dropped. There. So I did 2 on each. So what are some other pairs? So those are some other pairs, and this, nope, that was front page. So we'll do these next. Oh, that looks nice. I just got pink. Okay, that's the first one. I don't like that, but I could do that. Is that too samey? Maybe not. Maybe you will forget. Oops. I could have done that side there, and there's some of these pieces that I think are going to be a bit larger, and I want to leave some of my options open so I can put some larger pieces in if I need to. I really should finish things when I start them, because like that might work. How about we just keep putting pockets in? Do a little bit of focus work here. So I put one of those in the back end. I think this is supposed to be a journaling card, not a pocket, but it can be an absolute pocket. Be a fun uptuck. What does that look like? Something. They might need to go together. Okay, did not solve my problem. That might be just fun to match. Let's try that. Back to this side, and we've got this pocket and this tag. Let's move that along a bit, and even further. How about there? Or we could do there, or. Ooh, I like that. That looks fun. There. I think I'll do it there. When everything is already made, and I sound exactly like Gail Augustinelli, it's so much faster because it's just whoop, boom, whoop, boom. You just sort of pick and go. Can you fit in there? Yes, you will. Good job. I like that. I'll buy that for $1. There. That looks fun. Do that. Pat, pat, pat. Okay. What else do we have here? We've got, this is a envelope. We have a couple of these bits. Oh, we've got that one. So that is in the front of that, so probably towards the end. Oh, maybe at the end? Maybe here? You can't see it. That's the problem we had last time. Remember? Wow, that's just a lot of that in that one section. What's happening here? Do that. Kind of like it better on that side though. Well, let's. There, okay. What else do we have for pockets? Okay, not pockets. Envelope. Oh yes, I remember these. I love these. I love it. That's so cute. Okay, that's a thing. But that is a whole set. Okay, let's do some counting. This, we did make those as pockets. So we would need to fix those. Oh, that's what I wanted to do with that. That's why that's there. It's because I wanted to do that. And this is super, super too light. But the bits that I just threw out might be perfect, as they would be. Okay, so there we go. Those are up tops. Oh, it looks like it's gonna rain again. Well, that's something new. I haven't had rain for about 10 minutes. That was my outward sarcasm, in case there was any doubt. See what else we have in here. That could be a pocket. Okay, so those are all things for putting in pockets and are not actual pockets. So let's think about actual pockets. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So what do I want to do with this? This is what I want to do. Like straighter than that. Why do I do that? It's a rhetorical question. There. And then we can do the same on the bottom. There's that. One. Two. Three. Pink. That's that. And then what are we going to do here? Cut off part of the bottom. Here. That's right. And I don't need to worry goes like that or that. So those are generally good to go. Now I need to worry about this one. I think we can do this. Ish. Yes. I also saw somebody else on the internet do a thing that's like, ooh, I'd like to try that. It's nothing that Tim Holt hasn't done 1,000 times to great benefit, and that is do 2-inch strips that you can trim off as you please. Just pick a lane. Oh dear. Will be good. Oh, I think we're getting low on glue. I do declare. And we're just going to do that, I think. As much as we can. Let's do it that way. There. Eek, that is sticky. Huh. I wonder why I never thought of that. Well. Pencil? There we are. There's one. Sure. Mm-hmm. forgot to do that line. There we are. A couple of bits for later. Yeah, you can barely tell that. Okay, so we've got those two. So we gave ourselves 4 pockets, just like that. Where might we want to put these? That looks fun. So all of that is super blank. So maybe that looks fun. That's better. Oops. Ah! No. That's that edge and that edge. Yep. Just gotta check, check, double check. There we are. That's that one, we hope. Okay, and then on this side, sure. There. Pat, pat, pat. Something on the tail end. Something here might be nice. Do that. Let's do that. It feels a little skinny, but we'll make it work. We will make it work. There. That one works there. This way. Oops. Oops. There's a joke in Canada, and I'm sure there are in other nations, that is similar but different. There are 2 seasons, winter and construction. And that is true, because I can hear nothing but people, we would call them outside workers here, doing all of the things. Bless their hearts. so where are we at for time? We're doing okay, I think, for time. So I think we've got a pile of pockets put in. Yep, we're still good. Now then, we need to, we haven't done this one. Might want to use those potentially as pockets. Not sure. So that for sure has got to go to a pocket. Move this over. This for sure needs to go into a pocket. This for sure needs to go into a pocket. So that's 3. Then we have a bunch of randos. That. So these don't necessarily have to go into a pocket. But these, I would like very much for them to either be pockets or go into a pocket. Is there anything in this? There is not. Okay, so I think what I need to do now is let glue dry and then revisit and start tucking things in. But we are absolutely short strokes for this journal, which is super exciting. Anyways, that is all for now, I think. Please take very good care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. Always love you lots, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.